I'm Leisha Welchman, and this is my Module 5 assignment. In the first article, the quote that spoke to me talked about how we are preparing graduates of the 21st century, and we need the tech tools as well as the teacher training in order to do that effectively. And I feel like one of our biggest barriers in the district is time. We have a lot of fantastic tools available to us, but it's very difficult to find the time to discuss what the tool is, how to use it, and how it's going to help us as well as our learners. And that also goes hand in hand with teacher training. It takes a lot of time to meet our teachers at their different tech levels to help them become comfortable to use the technology in the classroom. So we try to do that in a variety of ways. We have an instructional fair every year where teachers across the district are encouraged to share the tech tools that they're using in their classroom and take a group full of teachers who want to be in that session through the use of that tool. We also last year tried an ed camp, which there were some tech sessions as well as some non-tech sessions, but that was exciting because we collaborated with people across levels, across the district, talking about things that we love. And we have one elementary school who actually does monthly AEP hours where teachers are encouraged to share different tech tools each month. It's all great, and it's enough to, when people are enthusiastic about things, it's enough to get people to try it. But I still have teachers who try a tech tool for the first time and get very frustrated when it doesn't go well or not all their kids get on within a couple minutes, and they'll revert back to paper and pencil rather than being willing to troubleshoot through that tech issue. In the 7 Common Barriers article, this quote really speaks to where I'm struggling as an instructional coach, because I feel like I can see where instruction could go with technology, but it's hard for me to counteract these decade-old practices that people are reverting back to. So I feel like my biggest barrier to overcome would be, how can we change what the teacher's role should be? We should be more of a guide on the side rather than a sage on the stage, but we are struggling with that transition. So I would love to come up with a plan with teachers as well as with administrators, to how can we come up with a 5-year plan of where we want instruction to look and what's my role in supporting that, because I feel like it can be done. We just need to have a strategic way to do that, so that everyone's comfortable about it. And then it's not just about the tool that we're talking about with technology, but best practices around it, because the tool is not going to fix everything in the classroom. But if we use it effectively, then we're going to come a long way with student achievement and engagement. The article about the digital divide kind of spoke to me being in my bubble, because I had no clue. But then I realized that my stepdad, who lives 15 miles out of town, has terrible internet because it's too expensive to lay those lines out in the country. So it is going to take a village to figure out how we can decrease this digital divide. And I am so grateful to work in an urban area where we have reliable Wi-Fi, because without that, I would be pulling out my hair. This article about open ed resources really got me excited, because this is what I love doing. I love taking the standard and looking at our resource that we have, the publisher's book that we have, and then going out and finding things to supplement it to take the standard to a new level. As a district, we're not quite there yet, grand scale. A few years ago now, we adopted the Common Core standards. Great. What we didn't do is take time to really unwrap those standards and what that means. So we threw out our old books, got a new set of publishers' resources, which said they were Common Core ready. They're okay, but they're not the best. If we could get in the mindset of picking and choosing, once we're rooted in those standards of what our students need and the essential skills they need, let's look at what the resource has. Then let's look at the other resources that we have available to us, and there's so much available to us free, and then mix and match and make fantastic lessons. The District of Columbia has a great plan. They are getting teachers involved in the development of the curriculum, which I think is key, because I can sit there and start to incorporate things and look at the technology, incorporate that into our lesson, but unless the teachers are a part of that, there's not going to be ownership and it's not going to be followed through. So we need to do something similar in our district. I feel like the digital divide can be resolved, but it is going to take some time, some collaboration, and some resources. But just think about how far we've come in the last 20 years. I mean, when I was still in high school, I use the internet very sparingly for like one class. Now I can't live without it. So I feel like it may take some more time, but eventually we will be there. And until it is, as educators, it's up to us to figure out how we can support and accommodate our families that don't have full access. The 21st century learning really is exciting to me. I feel like our graduates need all of these skills to be a well-educated individual. This graphic came from the Saxville School, which really seems like they have a handle on what they want to do going forward with education. Learning isn't just about jumping through the hoops, but how you are growing as an individual and how you can provide something to the people around you. And once we incorporate all those skills, I think that we will have it, and our students will be problem solvers. They will be citizens helping each other, and that is so exciting to me. I hadn't considered the global economy's impact on my internet usage before today. And again, that speaks to me being in my bubble. Like, I know companies are gathering information about my internet usage when I'm online, but at home, I don't actively seek out new tech like I do at school. So I'm only on websites and apps that my friends are recommending to me or people at school are recommending to me. I just don't do it personally, I guess. It's kind of weird. At school, totally different story. I'm actively seeking out new ways to use technology in the classroom. And I feel like we're part of making our future global citizens. So, and this is their world. So they're used to all this stuff around them, but we have to make sure that they're comfortable but not lax in how they're using technology. The tech training that I feel like I need, I pick up on tech pretty quickly, but what I'm struggling with is how to effectively share the why with my teachers. Like, I get excited about how we can use technology because I see the impact it has in classrooms. When I walked into a classroom that has a great technology base, and I mean, kids are excited about what they're doing. The teacher is spending more time analyzing data and creating meaningful learning activities than they are checking papers. Students are collaborating and learning from one another, and they're persevering through challenging tasks, and they want more. So this is a must, but I don't know how to better share that, because if you're resistant to using technology, it's harder for you to see what the impact is. My tech training needs to be ongoing. I realize that things that I used in the classroom 5 years ago have evolved since then, and I'm open to that. So I need to make sure that I share that openness with my teachers and that we're all flexible around the evolving technology. I would love to have more time to collaborate with my tech coaches within the district as well as tech people outside the district. I don't know the tech speak mumbo jumbo behind the apps, but I know the impact it has in the classroom. But I also know technology is constantly evolving, and if we're taking time each year to reflect on what technology are we currently using, what's out there to make it even better, and then making a plan for professional development for our teachers, I feel like we'll be solid. In the Turner District, we are definitely equipped with 21st century tech. We've had smartboards in every classroom for at least 6 years. We have Elmos, which are the overhead document cameras. We have wireless mice and keyboards so that we can be walking around the room interacting with students while still running the presentation whole group. We're one-to-one iPad from 2nd grade on up to 12th grade, and starting in 6th grade, those iPads go home. In the high school this year, we started a MacBook Air pilot in 2 classrooms to see if they want to go the MacBook route versus iPads. We just recently acquired a virtual reality set, enough for 2 classrooms to use, so I'm really excited about that. And we even have a STEAM special in one of our elementary buildings. We no longer have librarians, we have media specialists who are incorporating STEAM into their lessons, and our secondary tech classes are amazing, and they focus a lot on digital citizenship as well as how to use different technology. So we have what we need, I feel like, in our district, and we have a forward-thinking school board as well as district administrators who are always making sure that we're up to date on our tech. The advantages of innovative thinking, I think, far outweigh the disadvantages. We are now to the point where it used to take me hours to think about how I'm going to differentiate for my kids, where I can go on Khan Academy and look up different skills and shoot out those standards to different individuals, and they're now working in meaningful tasks at their level. Kids are creating. They have an authentic audience. They're collaborating, and we can infuse those 21st century learning skills in all of our daily practices if we are thinking about our planning around it. The disadvantages can be scary. We've got cyberbullying happening. Inappropriate contact or content is easier to get to. Spam is annoying, and it's easier to deal with copyright infringement because people are just going on and copying things. But I feel like since we know what we're looking for, we can create plans around it so that those issues become less of an issue and we can focus on the positives. As far as bullying and inappropriate use of the internet, I work at the elementary level, and I really haven't heard a lot of cyberbullying happening, but our devices do stay in the building. But I'm also part of a tech leadership committee, and that has not been a focus of our committee. I do run into students who are doing inappropriate searches on Safari, and they're getting around the filter, so we've had to deal with that. We had a sixth grader last year who set up an Edmodo classroom and invited his peers to it, and they were having inappropriate discussions online. But I feel like in our district, we do a great job of contacting parents as soon as we see that there's an issue, and our tech department is on top of things as well. And then we problem solve around it, and there are consequences according to the offense. So we're on top of it. I'm not naive to think that cyberbullying isn't happening, but I feel like we're doing a good job at school. As far as final thoughts for this, these articles have given me a lot to think of. I'm not going to fool myself into thinking that I can solve all of our problems at once or we can create a 5-year plan and everything's going to go away. But I don't think we need a scared straight program around internet safety. We need a well thought out plan around integrating technology into our daily lives at school. We need to be open to problem solving and teachable moments as they arise with our students. And I am so excited to see what our future brings.